Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the At the Pylon podcast. Alongside Chandler Betts, my name is Nick Antonakas. Chandler, it is 11:41 p.m. on Thursday night after Thursday Night Football, and I cannot tell you, this is probably the worst I've felt all season.
Yeah, the amount of just ineptitude from both sides of the game right now were just it was just crazy. There were so many bad decisions by all three teams, and that includes the referees. I'm sure we'll break that down, but Patriots were essentially gifted a win, and it's a gift that most of the fan base doesn't really want. I'm cool with it. I'll never not be like, Patriots. I don't want them. And of course, I wanted them to win that game. But golly, we'll still probably get a top three pick. But that was not fun. Neither fan base is happy with that.
Yeah, the Steelers, on one hand, just played a terrible game, probably their worst of the season
Yep, and they're probably out of
against.
the playoffs now. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, good. They don't deserve it at this rate. I
Yeah,
mean, that was just a horrible performance. Mitch Trubisky was just played a terrible game.
so bad.
And it honestly, at points, Chandler, watching the Steelers offense on our screens, it felt to me like they were the Patriots all year. It just felt very much like a limited offense. There was no way they could move the ball downfield. And most of their scenarios throughout the game were structured around those ideas. Now, there's always a big play of the game, Chandler, and we're going off this episode like right off the bat. So it's
Yeah,
fresh. So I'm going right now through my mind and sifting through to
I
kind of
have
see.
I have one.
Yeah.
It's the false start on the snap.
That was the one I was leaning towards, but
Yeah,
the Patriots.
because it absolutely wasn't a false start. Like hooray, we got a win because of it. But that should have been a first down for the Steelers. They should have gotten bailed out by. I love Tavai. I won't give any slander to the name of Javani Tavai, but
He's been a true Patriot all year, but that
yeah, he's
was
been one
definitely
of
an
our, if not
offside.
our best player. 100% offside though.
And I mean, at that point, I would have been just with it. I would have been like, you know what? It is what it is. That's fine. You know, we played a pretty good game, whatever. And it works out in a better circumstance where not only did we put up some points and entertain ourselves, but we also are going to lose the game now and keep our pace up for a top 2 pick in the draft. That is totally thrown out the window. They call it a false start. Steelers fans are just rampant through the roof when that happens. So Pittsburgh ends up punting on that play. From there on, it was pinball, punting it back and forth, and the game would eventually end after the Patriots got the ball back a good amount of times, giving the Steelers a good amount of chances to get it. They even had it with, I believe it was 22 seconds left is when the Patriots punted the ball back to the Steelers. They ticked it down to 15 thanks to the high punt.
Nick, you're frozen for me.
Oh, you're frozen for me.
Oh, well, now you're not anymore.
Now you're not. You're back.
Crazy.
Oh, my internet connection is unstable. Great.
Oh,
Am I
dang.
back now?
Yeah, you're back. We're so back.
Could you hear me though throughout that whole thing?
Nope. I could only
What
hear.
cut off?
I don't remember what you were saying, but what you said when you came back was it was exactly you're cut out for me.
Still?
No, you're good. That was
Oh,
the word that you said when you
okay,
came
okay,
back.
okay. All right. I'll just start over. I don't know what to say. Okay, yeah. So the Patriots got the ball back. And they actually gave the Steelers a good amount of chances to get back into this game. One of which was with 22 seconds left in the contest. Patriots punt. It ends up trickling down the clock to 15 thanks to the high punt. Steelers, they throw 2 passes literally to the middle of the field. First one, Deontay Johnson runs his ass off to get out of bounds,
Good
stop
play.
the clock with 7
Not a good
seconds
play call,
left.
but good player play.
And then another stupid throw to why are you throwing to the middle? Why? Just throw a check down and start lateraling at that point. Why would you dare to throw that ball down the middle, surrounded by Patriots? That's the game. You have one play left. Why are you using it on that? That just shows either Mike Tomlin and his play calling has just been totally thrown out the window, or the fact that Mitch Trubisky just has no head on his shoulders and has no idea how to play football. I'm leaning more towards the latter decision there, but
Agreed.
it was just painful to watch, especially from my perspective, where on one boat, Chandler, I'm on the same boat as you that I never am cheering for the Patriots to lose, but I'd say that this game is probably the closest I have ever been in my life to cheering for the Patriots to lose because when they won this game, I was like, this just sucks because we're not in any chance of making the playoffs, let alone even have like a mathematical chance. We could be eliminated by Sunday, even with this win. We're going to have to jump
No.
through constant hoops and prey on others' downfalls in order to have a shot week to week. So we're playing for nothing in the future. To take this opportunity at possibly turning our franchise around and exiting this 4-year hiatus from this status that we've been placed on for so long when we had Brady is just a shame to me because now we're 3-10. We may have lost our top 3 pick. Top 2 is definitely looking like it's off the charts now. And for me, it's just for what? For Bailey Zappa to get a congrats, you threw 3 touchdowns against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're never going to play an NFL game after the season. It just makes no sense.
Yeah, I do still think that we have a fairly decent chance of getting a top 3 pick. Looking at the standings right now, every team has 4 wins except, of course, Carolina. This game does pretty much lock them in at number 1. But Arizona and us are the 2 teams with 3 wins. Arizona is absolutely going to get at least 1 more, probably against Chicago. And again,
Is that game
if we
this
don't
week?
win, I don't know. I don't think so.
I'll look.
It could be. No, they're playing Sam. They have a bye this week. I guess the Cardinals must
Oh
be on
yeah.
bye this week.
Yeah, because they were actually short a bye. Well, do we hold number 2 or number 3 right now?
Number 2,
Okay,
strength
all
of
right.
schedule.
Okay, yeah, you're right. We do have strength of schedule. So I
But
guess that's a good sign, but they have 49ers, Bears, Eagles, and Seahawks. So tough schedule. For the
yeah,
Bears
I
somehow get
would
an
like to say
upset.
one more little thing about
Yeah,
this
go for
play
it.
calling. For the Steelers, 4th and 2, 40-yard shot, 40-yard line shot.
Take
What are
it.
we doing here? And even though it did end up working in the long run for them when they got the blocked punt and the touchdown, I was baffled that coming into the what was it? Was it coming into the 4th quarter or something?
Yeah.
Someone called a timeout. Maybe when they snapped the ball on 4th and 2.
Yep.
I was just so confused. I was like, oh yeah, there's no way that they're snapping this. They're trying to draw them offside, and then they do, and then he does a little stupid shuttle pass, somehow 3 yards short of the first down marker when it was 4th and 2, and obviously they don't get it because they're not playing against a high school defense. It was just horrible play calling. What Going into this season, I thought that we were going to be what the Steelers were, a little bit worse, of course, and then the Steelers were going to be what we are. I thought the Steelers team was very bad.
Mhm.
The same way that we think of Matt Patricia, they think of Matt Canada. And the
He's
fact that,
gone.
oh yeah, exactly. The fact they're like, oh, even without him, we're still making the same play calls, akin to how we think that a lot of the play calls that we make have been very questionable this year, akin to that era. But yeah, bad game, bad play calling. Just they really neither team wanted to win this game. Certain players on the Patriots defense wanted to win this game, and frankly, Bailey Zappi wanted to win the game. So that's why we won.
Yeah, and I literally draw back to a text that I sent you. It's almost like the Steelers are tanking when they literally sit at 7-5 and have no chance of even crawling close to the top 5, let alone not even the top 10 in the draft.
They were in the
So
wild card going into this game. They were
yeah,
a wild card team.
they were the top wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
They were 5. Why would you play this way if you're trying to make a playoff push of some sort? So they just realizing now, like, oh shoot, this is going to be another one of those years where we make the playoffs, we lose
That's
in the
what we
first
call them.
round,
Yeah.
yada yada yada. I mean, even in that case, you're not going out here losing games on purpose, but that's what it felt like. It was just such stupid play calling because with that field goal, Chandler, if they had just kicked it through the upright and then gotten the block punts, or in other words, just like turned it around and gone back down the field for a touchdown, that's a tie game. You're tied. And based
Yeah.
off how the Patriots played in the second half offensively, there would have been no scoring on the behalf of the Patriots because as we saw in the second half, they totally dropped off from that zappy, I guess, performance that he put on in the first half.
Mm-hmm. I mean, completely separate of the end result of having gotten the block. It was an 11-point game, 4th and 2. Your offense is known to not be good. I mean, the over-under was 30, for Christ's sake. That was broken completely in the first half, of course, but
Yeah.
the second half did not see a big flurry of points. You are in the position to get field goals, like my key going into this week. If you could take a field goal, take a field goal. Same thing went for the Steelers, and they decided simply like not to do that. And you can make that a one possession game. Sure, again, they got bailed out by a blocked punt. There's no way to account for that when you're talking about these hypothetical situations. But that decision was just so wrong, and it's just indicative of other play calls that they made throughout the course of the game, like utilizing the middle of the field when they only had 35 seconds roughly and no timeouts, like wasting your timeouts when you were down 2 scores. It's just so to waste your timeouts when you're down 2 scores to get a 4th down conversion on your own 30 to then punt on 4th and 2. That was just horrible.
Makes no sense.
Yep.
I think now, I guess, to transition to a positive, although as much as we don't want to address it as such, Bailey Zappi did play a pretty good game today. He went 19 for 28, 240 yards. He threw 3 touchdowns. That third touchdown to Hunter Henry was a beauty, by the way.
Yeah.
And he had 1 interception, which wasn't really his fault. Just a typical off the hands of a Patriots wide receiver, who but Juju Smith-Schuster in this case, leading to an interception on behalf of the Steelers. But what did you think of Zappi's play? I mean, personally, I thought he played pretty well. As much as I prey on the guy's downfall because I really don't like the guy, but it reminded me a good amount of 2022, especially that game against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, he did look good, and all that this tells me is that Mac Jones is never going to see the field again, and
Yeah.
I'm so okay with that. Little inside baseball. Earlier today, Nick and I recorded a little mock podcast, kind of.
Sadly, it will never air on at the Pylon, but we'll probably re-record it in the semester. But
yeah, maybe there'll be a little homage to another episode in the off season of the same topic, and the topic was is Mac Jones done as a Patriot? Spoiler alert, I said yes, if you can believe it. It was just horrible. We saw nothing out of Mac Jones throughout the course of the season, and we saw enough out of Bailey Zappi. So he won us a game. That's something that Mac hadn't done in a while. And he won the game. It wasn't just the Steelers lost the game. Sure, the referees gave us the game, but he didn't ruin our chances. He had some good passes. He didn't make any really stupid decisions. He didn't play incredibly, but he did well enough. He was the best quarterback on the field today.
To add to my sadness, Ezekiel Elliott had another great game. He rushed 22 times, 68 yards, had a receiving touchdown in a very pivotal game in one of our fantasy leagues that Chandler and I are both in. I pick up Zeke on waivers. This afternoon, after we recorded that podcast for my podcasting class, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to shift Zeke in at flex, take out Singletary. Hopefully he puts up a good amount of points tonight.
And did I not say that was a great decision because I was trying to pick Zeke up myself?
You did.
And also, the reason that I couldn't pick up Zeke is because my team's actually really good. My team's 9-4. So let's also talk about that.
And to preach the situation a little bit, I am on the verge of being eliminated from the playoffs.
Oh no!
If I win, and the other team loses, I'm a current 7 seed, the last spot in the playoffs in our league. If I lose, I'm pretty much done. I start watching the game. I see Zeke catch that touchdown, and I'm like, oh, let's go. And I'm like, wait, did I forget to put him in? And I went and I checked. Lo and behold, I forgot to put him in, even though I picked him up and I talked about it earlier. So at that point, I just started preying on Zeke's downfall because I'm like, if he's not in, might as well just like start fumbling the ball to make me feel better. But he did not. He put up 29 points.
Was there any other production on your bench? Any other production on your bench there?
Yeah, Hunter Henry, 19 points.
Oh gosh, wow.
What are the odds? And it was his birthday. 2 touchdowns for Hunter Henry on his birthday.
For oh my god,
Sad birthday, Hunter
all the
Henry.
Amazon stats at halftime. I don't know if you saw those.
I
The
did.
first Patriots player to score 2 touchdowns on his birthday since
And the
like
first to score
1977.
the first to score one since Dion Lewis in 2015.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
Shout out Dion Lewis.
Shout out
The good
Dion
old
Lewis.
days.
Yeah, Mac Wilson gave a pretty cool dap up to Bill Belichick after he
Oh yeah, and then we
well,
gave up a
after
touchdown. Nice.
yeah,
Literally the next play, touchdown.
yeah.
I was like, what are the odds of that?
Bill looked like he wanted to kill someone all game.
Bill looked like he was hyped when we were winning. I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
dude. And
Oh,
he,
Bill's going to be the
yeah,
guest picker.
the guest picker.
And he's gonna be. Oh, I'm gonna totally watch that.
What is that for? Is that for the Army Navy game?
Yep, which is in Foxborough.
Yeah, yeah. I saw posters for it today when I was in school.
Oh, Pat McAfee and Bill Belichick are going to be sitting next to each other. Talk about
Pat
opposite
McAfee's going to be on the
personalities.
panel.
Well, Pat McAfee's on game day.
Oh wow, wow! This goes to show how much I watch college football.
Yeah, Pat McAfee is so great. We all know how much I like Pat. Pat's one of the most interesting, if not the most interesting, social media personalities of all time, in my opinion. And
hey, he's bouncing around. He's got SmackDown. He's got College Game Day. He's got the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
What's next? UFC.
Presidency. I don't know.
Presidency. Great.
WWE and UFC.
It's they're merged now, so why not?
Put him in the ring. Throw him in the ring.
Regardless, for the Patriots, Chandler.
This is a football podcast, actually.
Surprisingly,
believe it or not.
Their next game is none other than the infamous Nick Antonakas attending game against the Chiefs on Sunday, December 17th. We got flexed out of prime time. Might as well have kept us in because who doesn't want to see Zappy Fever right now on prime time? They just popped off on Thursday Night Football. Probably when you throw him back under the sunlight, he's going to revert back to his old ways. So
I love how every single commentator who's ever commentated football thinks that they invented zip the ball Zappy. I love that so much that they all think that they came up with it. They're like, oh, I got to bring this in. This is so clever. No, it's not. We've been talking about it since like preseason.
Preseason 2022.
Exactly. Yeah.
Literally, if we look at our schedule for the rest of the year, we got Chiefs, we got Broncos, we got Bills, and we got Jets. If we win one more game this year, I'm done. I might just like jump off the rafters of Gillette Stadium because my seats are very high up. If we're winning this game against the Chiefs, I might just like, make a sacrifice on behalf of At the Pylon.
If we get to pick 4 or any worse being 4 to 32. If we get a worse pick than that, we're gonna need to make a trade.
Yeah, we're gonna have to trade.
That's not good because
are you trading up or down? I mean, I think we're both trading up, but what do you think Bill would do? It has
to be up.
What if we trade down? Then what?
Bill's gonna stand still and he's going to draft Joe Alt, who I like. I don't want to slander him, but he's gonna draft Joe Alt, and then we're gonna bring back Mac Jones, and then we're going to not sign T. Higgins, and we're gonna roll with Demario Douglas and Damiere Byrd as our 2 wide receivers.
Oh, you know what? I'm all for bringing Damiere Byrd back.
I like Damiere Byrd. Again, not another person that I do like. Didn't deserve the cross shot.
$1 million, one year, $1 million contract for Damiere Byrd coming in 2024.
Oh yeah, like genuinely, I would take that. He's probably better than Juju for the money.
Probably.
Juju did have a good game. Also, let's give credit where credit's due. He had 90 yards. He had a couple nice slants. He's just a significantly worse Michael Thomas.
Patriots wide receiver corps was down today. Booty out, Douglas out, Parker out.
Of course, Barnes is still out.
Yep. So, I mean, who do we have? Tyquan Thornton, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Did he even do anything?
Tyquan, I think he caught a couple. I'm going to look at the stats right now as we speak.
Yeah. He had 3 catches on 5 targets for 17 yards. Absolute weapon. That's our vertical threat, guys.
Ty Montgomery got into the game. That was my big key. He did so much. 1 reception, 17 yards. Good job.
It was really interesting. This was I've been alluding to it all year. Even though we haven't had very good play calling, Bill O'Brien is trying to modernize this offense, and I appreciate it. We saw a lot of what we call the stupid swing passes that are essentially just runs, but that was just an admission that we don't have a good offensive line for run blocking. Even though we did get 60 odd yards, 68 yards, 66 yards,
Rushing?
something like that. Yeah, rushing
Yeah,
out of Zeke
68
today.
yards. Well,
Even though we
actually,
did have that.
total we got 81 with
Yeah,
Bailey
because that's
Zappi's
including
13 rushing
Zappy. Yeah,
yard. Yeah.
but
Montgomery didn't rush once. Isn't that crazy?
no, because he's not really a running back. He's not even.
That's great. Good thing we kept him out of all the running backs that we had left.
Of
Nice.
course, yeah, he's a gadget player. You can never have too many gadget players when you don't have good players in the positions already.
I guess that's fair.
But no, that was sarcastic. I disagree with that notion. Don't
I'm too
let
tired. I'm
my
too tired
Charlotte.
for your sarcasm, Chandler.
Yeah. But there was a very modern offense trying to use those pseudo runs to gain yards with our running backs, get touches, and it was nice. It's been nice to see throughout courses of the year when it goes well. Doesn't often go well, but when it does, it's good to see. And that was really the difference maker. I think it was a 3-point game. We started out calling better plays than they did, and they didn't call good enough plays at the end to capitalize on the opportunities that we gave them.
Yeah, and when we consider, I guess, where the Patriots go from here, Zappy, like you said, will probably start for the rest of the season. I think that's
Yeah.
no question at this point. As much as we wanted to see Malik Cunningham make his way into the lineup, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Probably with this win, I'd assume that the entire locker room, if not most of the entire locker room, is now on Zappy's side. It pretty much seemed before like it was an 80-20 split between 80% wanting to see a change, 20% sticking with Mac Jones. It seems that now, as things progress and the Patriots have actually gotten a win now with Zappy in the lineup, that it's going to be Zappy fever for the rest of the season. So, not all bad. I mean, as much as whatever this means for Mac, I literally have no idea. Like you said, if we try to bring him back next year, if we get like number 4 overall and we bring back Mac Jones, that would literally make no sense to me
I
because
really don't want.
we just benched him for the last 5 or 6 games of the season to just bring him back as our starter in 2024. That literally makes no sense
Yeah,
unless if they're going for like a
yeah. That's not something I think
yeah.
is actually going to happen. That was just a nihilistic view of the Patriots. But what's
Well, if we don't
actually
get a
probably going to
quarterback, who are we going to start next year? Zappy, you think?
they're going to go sign somebody. We'll probably do what the
We'll
Titans
do.
did. We'll
Yeah.
go get a second round quarterback, and we could even bring in Tannehill. I'd be really sad if we did,
Oh my
but
god. You think
mathematically we
Zappy's bad?
could.
I don't want Tannehill at all.
Yeah,
I'd be so
it's
mad if we
crazy.
brought in Ryan
It's
Tannehill.
crazy to say that my opinion about Zappy hasn't changed. I'm not someone who's a big knee jerk reaction person. I don't really think you are with in the Zappy case either. Zappy completely cleared waivers this offseason. He didn't make the 53 to start the year.
Yeah.
No team wanted him. All they had to do was say that they'll take him on the roster for, what is it, 4 weeks? I think you have to do it.
Yep.
You have to keep him on the roster for 4 weeks if you take somebody from another practice squad or before they clear waivers. He cleared waivers. Nobody wanted him. None of these 31 teams. Is it crazy to say that the Bengals could use him instead of Jake Browning? Is it crazy to say that? I don't know. I still might rather have Zach Wilson, to be honest, but I have my own biases for that.
I'd probably keep Zach Wilson too, just because of the potential factor.
Of course, I'm not saying they could cut him because of his contract
Well, yeah,
also,
yeah.
but
As just a backup slot.
I
Yeah,
might
know what you
rather
mean.
start Zach Wilson than Bailey Zappi, but Jake Browning, absolutely not. I'm just looking at these teams right now. Mitch Trubisky, I'd probably rather have Bailey Zappi after today.
Yeah, me
Trubisky was
too.
really bad. Yeah,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't put Rudolph in.
well, he's even worse. He's
I
so bad.
mean,
He is what
they
we.
hit like rock bottom at halftime, dude. I was ready for them to literally pull anybody out. Put in who the hell did they sign? Trace McSorley.
Oh yeah, throw it on a dime like I ain't even trying. Bring him in.
Rise him up on the practice squad mid game. There you go.
Let's go.
Why not at that
Absolute
rate?
joke. The NFL, I would love the idea conceptually of having expansion teams. It would just mean that we would have even worse play than this, though. Like I used to think, there's got to be, I don't know, 40 people that can play quarterback in the NFL. After today, there might not even be 32. There might be 26 people that can play quarterback in the NFL at a decent enough clip, and 2 of them may be in college. So that's just a wild way to think about future expansion, because it's absolutely going to happen.
That's
It's why
crazy.
it's why no league can ever compete with the NFL, even in an offseason. The USFL XFL merger. Again, I'm just talking about football right now. I'd love to be involved with that in some capacity, but I can't see it being sustainable at all. There's simply not enough talent at the most important positions. You'll see a Brandon Aubrey, kicker for the Cowboys, who's going to go from USFL. He was a first round pick in the MLS back a couple of years ago. Retired, was like an accountant or something.
Wow.
Was watching a game on the couch when his either girlfriend or wife was like, saw a missed field goal and was like, you could do that. And he's like, you know what, I could. So then he practiced, and now he's one of the most efficient kickers in the league. Kickers, you can do that in the XFL. But the best XFL, USFL quarterback, PJ Walker, absolute bum for the Browns.
Browns.
Got benched for Joe Flacco.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flack attack is back.
Footsteps Flacco.
Wow.
Sneaky athletic.
Well, Chandler, I think it's time we wave the white flag on this one at 12:10 p.m.
Gosh.
You get off to studying for your exam tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go to bed. And hopefully try to forget this win as much as I can. But regardless, we'll be back next week for a full preview episode of Patriots versus Chiefs. Make sure to stay tuned for that. On that episode, Chandler will have his rookie preview. Who are you reviewing again? Remind all the viewers.
Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors.
Out of LSU. Let's get it.
That'll be on next episode, so stay tuned. But for now, alongside Chandler Betts, my name is Nick Antonakas. We'll see you back here next week for a full preview of Patriots versus Chiefs.
Yeah. What episode is this? Do we know what episode?
This is 25.
25. This is
our 25th anniversary episode.
Oh, whoa!
Look at that.
Pearl. Let's look at Patriots who wore number 25.
Yeah, see, I thought you made a sheet. I mean, we're just rambling at this point.
It's
literally midnight. So
yeah, we're delirious, you know. I just looked up New England Patriots instead of players who wore 25.
Oh.
What do you got, Nick? Do you have any on the top of your head?
Hell no.
25 is this was Kyle Arrington we were going to talk about.
Kyle Arrington.
Because Kyle Arrington's middle name, now it's all coming back to me from this hour-long conversation we had a month ago. Kyle Arrington's middle name is Chandler. Let's go.
Wow. Look at that. Full circle. Okay. This 25th anniversary podcast.
This is the best episode we've had so far.
Of the At the Pylon podcast is dedicated to Kyle Chandler Arrington.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. You've made history.
Yeah.
More history than you made in Super Bowl 49 by blowing coverage multiple times and getting Malcolm Butler in the game to get that game-winning interception. So thank you for that. That's career highlight number 1. Number 2 has to be your appearance on the At the Pylon podcast, episode 25.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else, Chandler? I can't think of anything else. We have not gone for too long.
No, this team stinks. Let me squeeze something else out here.
I can edit this portion out.
Mac Wilson. You don't have to. I don't know. You put it at the end of the episode.
We'll put this at the. This is going at the end of the episode. This whole Kyle Arrington shtick.